enough with the bullshit. Hey, and welcome. This is Actual Fandom. My name is Dane. Around here, if you're new to it, we talk about comics, we talk about movies, we talk about, personal growth. This guy sent me this, and it's a screenshot of a list of things that apparently are my greatest sins as a content creator. So, and he had said, "Can you respond to this?" So somebody made this list about me. Someone, I'm not sure who. It is kind of disturbing to think that somebody who doesn't like my content has been paying this close attention, because pretty much I think almost every one of these is rooted in some sort of thing that is a fact or happened or whatever, right? But the interesting thing is that not a single one of them, well, okay, with the exception of one, not a single one of them really comes close to even breaking my own ethics, my own moral, standards. And this person seems to think that it does. And the whole point of him sending this is because I have criticized rags, EFAP in general and stuff. And apparently this person thinks that I have no leg to stand on to criticize them based on morality. When really it's not about, it is about morals, because everything is, but he starts out saying, "I'm not going to act like Rags is a perfect angel, but Dane is certainly one to condemn someone else's morality when he..." And I haven't condemned Rags' morality, really. I've condemned actions and things that he said repeatedly. So this first one is the one that gets closest to being something that, I would say, yes, if I had it all to do it all over again, I would do it differently. But at the same time, I don't feel really terrible about it because I didn't actually do anything that... and here's the thing on which all of my morals, all of the things that my views, what I call bad and good content and stuff like that, is all based around the concept of harm versus benefit. I'm not saying that all content needs to benefit somebody, but I would prefer as little content and statements and ideas that are floating around out there would be harmful to people. As few of those as would be harmful as possible, right? So the first one, tried to leak Charles from Melissa Greedy's private medical information once he left the initiative. That is there's 3 different reductive aspects to that statement that make it essentially not true at all. But it is based in the idea that what I did do was whenever, that guy was, he'd been out of the initiative for quite some time. And then suddenly he started making, pals with some people that had bad intentions for us. And had shown that were willing to lie and deceive and say crazy shit and harass and whatnot. And Charles had made some statements. I don't want to relitigate this whole thing or anything, but it is relevant. He'd made some statements that nobody had supported him or checked in on him when, about his health and stuff like that. And it's just untrue. And I showed some screenshots where I had asked him about his health and I had checked in on him, literally doing the thing that he claimed nobody did. And in that, I think I said something about, maybe his headaches, or I don't remember. It doesn't fucking matter because it didn't have any real effect on anything. Now, to say that I tried to leak his private medical information is the most bad faith fucking, interpretation of this that you can fucking possibly give. So just ultimately it's not like the way that's framed there is like, oh, Charles left the initiative, now I'm going to release some medical information about him, which is not how that happened. I was trying to disprove just, dishonest, false things that I knew that I could disprove. And I was doing it kind of in a panic because I was dealing with this bullshit suddenly and I was frustrated. And I didn't think about the fact that even saying that he was dealing with this specific thing, and it wasn't even a super specific thing. It wasn't like it was literal his diagnosis or anything. I don't even know what that would be, but it did say something. It's like, okay, yeah, I will grant that. I could have done that a little bit better, right? Beyond that, this is fucking bullshit. Everything in this list. So tried to force Endymion to delete his channel. How the fuck did I try to force him? I made a video where I somewhat tongue-in-cheek, said, delete your channel. Honestly, Endymion, dude, this is so fucking egregious and stupid and just bad faith and just gross and dishonest. You're distorting the image of a man who is a man of faith, He is, and seen by all accounts, seemingly just like a good person, right? Politics aside, religion aside, he's a good person, and he's worked his ass off and come through some adversity to get to where he's at. And come through adversity that you would probably, make fun of in some other context, you know what I mean? Or you would dismiss as not mattering or whatever. I'm gonna say this. You should delete your channel, dude.
Amen, brother.
I've just delete your channel. There's no fucking, there's no recourse for this. Like, it's the only honest thing that you could possibly do in response to this. You could apologize. You could delete the video. Sure, that would actually fucking, you could make it private or whatever, or do a stream or a video where you go over all the ways that you lied about everything in this video, right? You could do that. That would be acceptable. But really, if you want to do the any kind of karmic justice back into the fucking world for the damage that you're causing with this kind of shit, you should just delete your fucking channel.
Do us all a favor.
That's it. Of course I know the guy's not going to fucking delete his channel. Are you fucking kidding me? He makes way too much money and gets a lot of views by just saying the fucking dumb shit that he says about wokeness and whatever. No, I wasn't forcing him. Okay. Tried to get Eric July removed from a convention based on vibes? No, sir. This is where you actually do fuck up quite a bit, because I tried to alert, not get him removed. That was not my goal. My goal was to alert the convention to the fact that Eric July on several occasions has said that he wanted to or would engage in violence at a convention.
So you fat, out of shape, and you white. If I were you, considering that you ain't built for that level of action, I would not advise that.
What, is that a threat?
Just throwing this out there before we get started. Any event that, I happen to be at one of those and you happen to be there as well, let's just make sure that we link up and we kind of chop it up about some of those comments.
Don't let me go to a con and his motherfucking ass is there. He has to see me.
And on top of that, in ISOM number 2, there's literally a fucking big superhero fucking, brawl where a chick gets, crippled or killed or something at a fucking comic book convention. And it's just it stood out to me as like, man, that's kind of weird that he's mentioned this so many times about meeting up at a con. And he's talked about how him and his buddies carry at cons, right? Those things all kind of stack up to make me think, look, I because I know these things, I feel like I have an obligation to let these guys know about it. Keep your eyes out. I don't want anything to fucking pop off at a convention where somebody gets hurt. I didn't say, you got to remove them, take them off. No, but of course that's the narrative that goes around. And this one's my own fucking fault anyway. Nobody ever would have known that I did this except I bragged about it. So next up, you got said all this to a viewer. So if you're not familiar with what that is, I don't know for sure because I don't have the link. This is just a screenshot, but I'm pretty confident that what that link is to is me going off on a fucking chatter months and months ago, almost a year now or something, where I said that I was gonna fuck his dad and I was gonna fuck his grandpa and I was gonna, I was just talking mad shit and I was gonna bang his whole family and stuff. Now I said I was gonna fuck him, but then certain folks started twisting that and saying that I had threatened to grape this guy's entire family. Now, and as I pointed out then, no, sir. No. No. My point of saying that was I was going to fuck them, as in they're going to ask me to do it, and when I'm done, they're going to ask me to do it again. Okay? That's the whole point of that thing, is that, like, I'm actually going to, your parents are going to feel like we're making love, your whole family. I'm just fucking them, but they think we're making love. They're going to try and make me dinner. That's the shit that I was talking, right? And then that gets turned by bad faith dipshits into I'm threatening to grape people's family. Okay, moving on. Used someone's sick mother as an argument during a Twitter argument. No. After the guy brought up the fact that he's busy and couldn't reply to a question I'd asked him because he was fucking hounding me on Twitter, and I said, fine, well, blah, 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 prove this. And then he didn't want to engage anymore. And I was like, oh, what the fuck? He comes back and says, well, I'm taking care of my sick mother. And then he started bombarding me again. And I eventually said, look, dude, don't you have something better to do with your fucking life than this? Like, this is a really stupid thing to be arguing over. Why don't you go take care of your sick mother? That's what I said. And then it just fucking became Pearl Clutch City, dude. Like, oh my God, how could you fucking, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Admitted to using former EFAP fans as content. I'm not even sure what the fuck this means. I mean, if you're talking about somebody said something on the internet and I fucking, or they used to be part of EFAP or the community, and I talked to them on stream about their experience, I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't know how in any way, shape, or form that's anything exploitative or bad or whatever. Banned a dude who supported him from day one simply for disagreeing with him, and banning left for... Okay, let me make this fucking clear, man. I can ban whoever the fuck I want off of my channel. This is my channel. This is my fucking experience on the internet, and you have that right too. Every single one of you have that right. You need to keep that in mind. Nobody, you don't owe anybody your fucking attention, your presence, your fucking, response. None of it. You don't owe anybody a goddamn thing. If someone gives you fucking off vibes, fucking ban them. I know there's plenty of people that are going to fucking clutch their pearls and act like that's the worst possible thing you can do, but that is a form of entitlement I cannot fucking comprehend. How the fuck can you possibly think that everybody on the internet owes you their attention and for you to be able to say whatever you want in their space, and they just have to fucking read it and go, yeah, okay, and reply and go, oh, yeah, that's a good point. Fuck off, man. Okay. Tried to grift off of Sound of Freedom by virtue signaling about how he totally cares more about those crimes than the people at Angel Studios, and then being dead silent about it once Sound of Freedom left the cultural conversation. Holy shit, dude. Okay. I mean, first of all, I don't even know where to start with this, man. Like, you have to, first of all, believe that Angel Studios is a legit fucking organization, that the Sound of Freedom is based on facts, when it's really, literally, objectively not based on facts. Only in the most loose sense, a couple of things are true that happened. But by and large, I mean, since then, the guy that the movie is about has been exposed as a rather large piece of shit. Okay? That he's actually used the fact that he was part of this organization that he started to get laid. Cool, man. Cool guy moves. All right. Moving on. Claims to be against EVS, but simps for ripoff verse. Open right winger who works for EVS. I mean, I don't know that that's true, but he is, I guess, an open right winger. But I have criticized ripoff verse every single time I've said that this is a good video or whatever, except for these things. Continually uses Mahler and Rag's actual faces without their permission. I didn't know I needed to get it. They use people's faces. Do they get permission every time they use someone's face? I don't know. I don't think they do. Moving on. Continually makes poorly edited. Hold the fuck up here. Poorly edited? Poorly edited? Point being, my morals and therefore my politics, which in my view are applied morality. It's a simplistic way to say it, but like I believe that our politics should be an extension of our morality or ethics, and how we think is best to live our lives, and for me that's maximize well-being for as many people as possible, and reduce harm for as many as possible in any given context, any given situation, as much as possible. Of course, those are not perfect. These things are never going to be perfect. It's an ongoing practice, and that's why it needs to be conversations that happen continually that are based in reality. And I think that one of the simplest things that most people can agree on is that suffering is bad, right? Suffering sucks in almost really any context, unless you're just one of those people that likes, but let's not think about them. Suffering is bad. Let's try not to make people suffer. And if people are suffering and there's something that can be done about it, let's try to remove that. Thank you. You're filling me up. You're the wind beneath my wings. Hey, well, hold on, man. Are you saying that I do have poorly edited videos? What the fuck? Yeah, I'm supposed to, when everybody... He says that... He's literally saying in that it has left the cultural conversation, meaning that everyone else has stopped talking about it too. And yet I'm the one who's supposed to continue talking about it. Like, fuck off, man. It's stupid. And then this is fucking hilarious. The Chunky Monkey incident. Sure, most of you are aware of that. Although, that honestly pales in comparison to the other stuff I've done. Holy shit. If you actually believe Chunky Monkey is a slur, which it's not, I've explained that in a video not long ago. You can go watch that. But if you think it is a slur, you think that's a bad thing to, that I did something really shitty there, right? You think that all this other stuff makes that pales compared to, let's see, telling Endymion he should delete his channel? It pales in comparison to banning a dude from YouTube for being a shithead harassment guy. It pales in comparison to making poorly edited propaganda. And probably several other things I don't know about. Rags may have his iffy moments, but Dane has so many skeletons in his closet, he could open a haunted house. Doing a big jerk off motion right now. Yeah, this is nothing, man. This is somebody tried their best to list a bunch of things that this is just things that you were frustrated by. Is really all it is. And then several things that you saw someone saying somewhere, and maybe you don't really know what it's about, but you just kind of like say, oh, that sounds like that's bad. I'm going to put that in the list too.